Hello, everybody. How you guys doing tonight? Looks like we do have waiting for people on, I guess, right now. So that's cool. So, and yes, I did stop into Solid Stream for a few minutes there. So, yeah. Hey, Leto, I see you there. I saw your comment earlier at the start of the stream here. So, how'd your day go today, guys? I've been kind of watching the little conversation going on here, so I know. So it sounds like ATC and Leto had some fun with their wives today. Hmm. So how did your day go today, guys? Because I'll just see. Hey, Woody's here too. Hey, Woody, and we're off. Yep, we're off. I'm good. I got some toy mailing. Okay, that's cool. Hey, Woody from Toys. Yeah, so yeah, got 5 people watching now. We're down to 4 again. Anyways, so that's good to see. Um, let's see. Just a buffet, and we went to a museum about funerals in Houston. Oh, a funeral museum in Houston. That's kind of funny, if not morbid. It was neat. Ah, yeah, it's kind of tricky here. Of course, at this, as you guys know, I'm in Southern California here, so, and of course, with daylight savings time happening a month ago, of course, now is around the time that the sun is setting. So it's like, okay, I was thinking of turning on my light before I started the stream, but it was still a little too bright. But now it's starting to dim a little bit. It's still trying to, it's kind of tricky to try to determine when exactly the best time to turn on the light is in that situation. I think I might go ahead and turn it on now so I don't have to be distracted with it later. It's still going to look kind of odd. Yeah, and yes, I am aware of what's going on with the Chauvin. I know that the verdict was handed down today. He was convicted on all 3 counts. From what I understand, his attorneys may be appealing it in part due to what Maxine Waters has said. Um, but with all that being said, that's about as much as I want to hear about it right now. I am aware of it, but let's try to forget about that garbage for right now. Um, I just wanted to. Oh, nice. I was wondering why you had good lighting now. How about nothing like food and death? Hmm. Supposed to dip down to 29 degrees tonight in North Arkansas. Yeah. Well, we've cooled down here in SoCal too. I mean, over the weekend we had gotten up as high as 90 degrees, but now today it was 72, I believe, 72, 73 here in SoCal, and then where I live, and then going down. It's supposed to go down in the high 60s, mid to high 60s for the next couple of days as well. Circle of life, my dude. Yep. Hey, Woody. Hope it doesn't freeze off the beautiful dogwood and redbud blossoms. Mm, yeah. And of course, I do appreciate the likes and shares that I already got. you guys haven't already, if you guys can like and share the stream, help see if we can get the algorithm up, see if we can get some more people in here. That would really be some help. Um, and I guess I know there's like already we have what 3, 4, 5 people in here now, so I guess I can kind of go into a little bit of what's on tap for tonight. So believe it or not, I've got 7 stories tonight. Normally I try to keep it around 6, but one of them I think will go pretty quickly. It's just so on tap for tonight, of course. Let's see, I've got a Toonami programming update. Um, that was announced for May 8th. Let's see. Better better your mittens. 7. Yeah. Um yeah, 7 stories tonight. The Toonami story more likely go pretty quickly though it usually does. It's just an update on the schedule change that they're doing. Also, and I am starting out with anime stories tonight. Usually, I normally start out with comics, but tonight I'm starting out with the anime stories just because of how just flow of things. Um, the other anime stories is some notations on there's an article in regards to Death Note 2. Um, something in regards to something about um, some Death Note 2 notes from that movie. Um, also on the plans for tonight is some more information on the Conan comic that being published by Blaze Publishing. Also, we were talking about the other day how Action Comics #1 sold for a pretty penny. Apparently, Batman #1 sold for a pretty penny too. We'll be looking at that article. Also, a couple of Netflix stories and an HBO Max story. So that's what's all on tap for tonight here. Let's see now. Let's see what you guys have been saying here in the last. Well, let's see. Hi, little hi toys is what he said. Sup, buddy? Um, oh yeah. So anyway, so that's pretty much what's all on tap for tonight, as I said. Um, yeah, you guys are telling me what your day was like today. For me, pretty much same old, same old. Went up, got my energy drink and some soda. Came back home, watched a couple of videos. Watched. So apparently, Nicki Minaj's fans are going after Yellow Flash now. Apparently, I actually watched Tug Story on it first, and then decided to watch. So apparently, they got bent out of shape because they thought I guess Flash was, and I think he was sticking up for Sam Liu, I believe is the guy's name, who then the Chang-Chi um, thing. Apparently, some of Nicki Minaj's fans went after him because I guess he I guess mocked her back in 2012, like almost 10 years ago. So that was pretty funny. I found out why. Well, if you're asking me why they're going after Flash, I just told you why. Oh, pretty stupid stuff, you know. But what struck me when I was watching when what struck me, and I really think about it with a lot of these people too. It's like now these apparently the Nicki Minaj fans like to call themselves Barbs for some reason. Nobody knows why. And I guess they're a little bit obsessive. I guess that's part of the reason why they were going after Flash. One of the I commented on both Flash's and Tug's video in when I was pointing out that Nikki might want to be more concerned with these Barb fans because They sound like, basically these very ignorant and illiterate twidiots, as I like to call them. They sound like the type of people that she may have to be very worried about might end up showing up in her house one night while she's asleep. If you get what I mean. Uh, Barbs, because they look nothing like like a Barbie. Yeah. Well, Flash apparently was not too complimentary of Nicki Minaj's music, and that's also that's another reason why they went after him. Apparently, is he on his own videos called her music trash. I've never actually listened to it, so I don't think it'd be to my liking anyway. So, um, but but that's kind of that's kind of the world of the Twitty. And yes, I call them Twidiots, Twitter idiots. It's what they call a portmanteau, basically, when you mash two words together to make one word. You know, I just call them Twidiots because they are Twidiots, Twitter idiots. Mm. All right, so we're now coming up on 12 minutes. I know we've got like, even though the counter says three, I'm thinking we have more like five people in here. So I was just listening to Frank Sinatra. Seeing the dislikes on some songs makes me SMH. Laugh out loud. Yeah, anything that's that's considered traditional, old school. A lot of these SJWs and progressives just puke on. They just cry racism for just about anything and everything. You know, if they can't hold down a job, racism. If they get beat up by a cop, racism, racism, racism. If they can't find somebody to make love with, racism, racism, racism. If their life is nothing more than and if their life is nothing more than a piece of garbage, racism, racism, racism. Pathetic. They need to learn to take responsibility for their own lives. But anyways, enough of that stuff. We're coming up now on we're about 30 and a half minutes. It's probably a good time to get into what we all truly love to talk about, and that's the world of Nietzsche. Let's get into some of these news articles here. Um, Owl Man Mike. Are you trying to say our man Mike? Is that what you're trying to say there, Leto? Are you trying to say awesome Mike? Uh, Anyways, let's get to what we all love to talk about, and that's the world of Nietzsche. Let me see now. Right here. Okay, so straight from there. No, amen, but woke a woman. I get no amen, but woke a woman. Oh, yeah. That's funny there, Leto. Okay, so our first piece of news is going to come straight from um, Toonami's Facebook page. This announcement was made back on April 10th, so a week ago this past Saturday, I believe. Um, Surpass your limits, surpass rivals. Toonami is proud to announce the fifth season of My Hero Academia premiering May 8th at 12:30 a.m. Plus, relive the glory of Attack on Titan Season 4 at 3:30 a.m. Catch the full lineup below and prepare yourself for Tsunami Saturdays from midnight at 4 a.m. So starting on May the 8th, which of course would be what, about 2 weeks from this Saturday, because I think this Saturday, today is the 20th, so this Saturday is 24th. So 2 weeks from this Saturday, Tsunami Tsunami lineup will start be like this. Still starting off the block at midnight will be Dragon Ball Super. Followed by at 12:30, coming in at 12:30 will be My Hero Academia. Food Wars continues on at 1 a.m. The only two shows on that list I'd watch is DB. I think you mean DBZ, not DBS. Dragon Ball and Food Wars. All the other shows I don't want to watch. Yeah. Yeah. So, anyways, um, again, I'm just putting it out there for anybody who may want to know. Food Wars on at 1 a.m., followed by The Promised Neverland on at 1:30, Fire Force on at 2, Black Clover on at 2:30, Naruto Shippuden. Now, Naruto Shippuden and Black Clover are actually pretty good. Now, I know people aren't happy that Black Clover is dubbed by Funimation, but it's still a pretty cool show. Um, Again, Asta, much like Naruto, much like a few other like underdog protagonists we know, still a cool show. And then reruns of Attack on Titan season 4 on at 3:30. Concluding the Dragon Ball Super. I guess that's what you meant by DBS. Dragon Ball Super. So to recap that real quick, Dragon Ball Super on at midnight. My Hero Academia on at 12:30 a.m. Food Wars on at 1. The Promised Neverland on at 1:30. Fire Force on at 2. Black Clover on at 2:30. Naruto Shippuden on at 3. Attack on Titan on at 3:30. So and that lineup starts on May the 8th, 2 weeks from this Saturday. So if you have Cartoon Network, you can watch it, or you can just watch it online if you want. Yes, laugh out loud. Yeah. So, anyways, and now we're down to one apparently. Screwy counter. Yeah. Yeah. All right. All right. I just refreshed my YouTube screen there. Get that out. Yeah, that helps. Anyway, yeah. I guess for whatever reason, sure Ollie is technically coming for you, Leto. Yeah, I saw. I just saw his thing. So, anyways, so that's that. So let's kind of move on to the next topic here. I'm gonna go over to Bounding into Comics, where we'll find our next set of stories here. Oh, actually, All right, so here's the next story. We're going into bounding into comics here, written by John F. Trent today. Um, Death Note 2 writer Greg Russo promises movie will go back to the source material, but will be unexpected. Okay, so let's see what they're talking about here. Death Note 2 writer Greg Russo recently stated he plans to take the sequel film back to the source material. The first film, which was released by Netflix back in 2017, was directed by Adam Wingard with a screenplay by Charles Papanidis, Vlas Papanidis, and Jeremy Slater. The film was panned by both critics and audiences. On Rotten Tomatoes, it received a 30%, 38% Rotten Tomatoes score and a 24% audience score, which I'm guessing is pretty bad. The weighted score from IMDb users is a 4.5 out of 10. Whoa, that's bad. That's pretty poor. With over 20% of the votes being star votes. And here's the IMDb. According to the votes, like 20.9% of the vote from 1 to 10 were one vote, were for one. So arithmetic, yeah, arithmetic mean 4.3, which basically means the average 4.3, and then the median, which is like when you take all the numbers together and you put the one right at the middle is 4. So yeah, that's pretty bad. That looks pretty bad there. Before we go on, let's see what you guys have to say there. So, in other words, hey, Russo, will you be using source material? Yes, but actually, no. Action walks into the middle of class and sits down listening intently. Thank you, thank you, ATC. Um, Despite both critics and audiences sharing their distaste for the film, the Hollywood Reporter claimed a sequel was in the works back in 2018. There hasn't been much development, but Mortal Kombat writer and the writer for the second film, Greg Russo, recently provided an update to "We Got This Covered." When asked about the difference between adapting properties like Mortal Kombat and Death Note, Russo answered, "It's funny because it sounds like a shift in genre, but really it comes down to the same things. It's about adapting IP. It's about bringing over an amazing piece of fan property and trying to do it right." Well, I just hope you can do it right, make the fans happy. And you guys agree with that statement that I just made? And by sequel means he had oh boy. Okay. He had diarrhea. Okay, that sounds pretty funny. He then went on to detail how he's approaching the second Death Note film. He explained, and Death Note, I am a huge fan of the manga. I'm a huge fan of the original source material. And I think it's one of the greatest mangas ever written. Russo continued, and so for me, I didn't play any role in Death Note, the first film that Netflix did. But I came in with kind of a point of view with what I wanted to do in a sequel. And part of that is I wanted to go back to the source material. I wanted to go back to what made the original stuff so great, and so we're so we're doing something really neat with it, he elaborated. Russo concluded, hopefully there will be more info on it soon, but it's not going to be exactly what you're expecting, and I mean that in a very exciting way. Oh, yeah, here's a scene from the anime, of course. He previously promised something unexpected from the film back in September 2020. Russo wrote on Twitter, it's consuming a large part of my life right now. I'm hell bent on giving DN fans, Death Note fans, something new, exciting, and unexpected. Stay tuned. And there's, of course, the copy of the tweet right there. Greg Russo Twitter is a source. Let's see. They already made it right. The first two Japanese movies were spot on. X to doubt. He's a huge fan. X. Well, I guess we'll have to wait and see, huh? Have to wait and see. As for what Death Note 2 film might look like, We Got This Covered claims that Netflix wants the movie to be more horror themed this time around. We Got This Covered's David James writes, a shift in tone might also be an indication that Death Note 2 is a soft reboot, with an entirely new character discovering the notebook and dealing with its consequences. For somebody not light or L dealing with it. If that is indeed the case, that could explain Russo's comments about the movie not being exactly what you're expecting after saying he wants to go back to the source material. Do you have any interest in a second live action Death Note film? Well, sounds like Leto. You might. Do you have an interest in a second film there, Leto? Are you interested in going and seeing Death Note 2? Hmm. F no. Okay, we'll move on to the next story then. See what we're at on time here. 29. So we're just under the 30-minute mark. That's not too bad. Two of the seven stories done thus far. Let's get into this next story. Next story is from John F. Trent as well, which he did today. Conan faces off against the man-eaters of Zambola, an upcoming new comic book series. I believe this is a series that is being published by Blaze Publishing. Yeah, it is. A brand new Conan the Barbarian story is coming from Blaze Publishing. And this one pits the fearsome Crimerian against the man-eaters of Zambola. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy. She'll chew you up. Okay, Cimmerian. I'm sorry. I read it as Crimerian, but Cimmerian. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy. She'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater. Oh, boy. He's got to be feeling pretty lucky right there. Look at that. Oh, boy. Look at that. Hey, look at that, guys. That's a naked lady hanging off his leg like that. Albeit she's in fear for her life, but laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. I'm not here to hear like sing about this is toys. Laugh out. No, well, toys. I'm pretty sure you know where that song's from the '80s. Okay, it's the artist was named Michael Sembella. I think it was actually in the Footloose movie. In fact, laugh out loud. Oof. So, anyways, as we continue on, naked lady hanging off his leg like that. So, source the Cimmerian, the man eaters of Zambola. The new series is the latest in Blaze's adaptations of Robert E. Howard's Conan series. The adaptation is done by French writer and artist Guess, known for his Carmen McCollum series and his more recent La Brigade, Chimerique. The story will see Conan visit the city of Zambola, where he discovers that foreigners who stay there end up disappearing. Another naked lady right there. The official description begins a crossroads of beliefs, languages, and cultures. The mythical trading city of Zambola is also the scene of many dark legends. Upon paying the city a visit, Conan is warned of the dangers of Aram back home. Aram back home. It is said that most of the foreigners who stay there disappear under obscure circumstances, and it is precisely there the Cimmerian is spending the night. The description continued. It concludes, but by lifting the veil of these mysterious cases of kidnappings, the Cimmerian will discover another secret, even more terrible, linked to the whole city of Zambola. Zambola. Towards the Cimmerian, the man eaters of Zambola. See what you guys are saying. Laugh out loud. Little Toys is younger than me and picked on me. Laugh out loud. Good. Just refreshing the YouTube screen here. See if that helps with the. I guess not. Still count. Okay, the counter is now back up to 3. All right. So, anyways, back to the story here. A Blaze claims the story is imbued with Orientalism and macabre witchcraft. Oh, I just hope the SJWs don't go all because of how they use the term Orientalism. But Ablaze's VP of Creative Business Development, Rich Young, stated, with all the highly skilled creative talent that has been working on the Cimmerian, each story very different from the next, everyone seems to have their favorite so far. And I'm sure this one will also gain some new fans with the outstanding work Guest does here. The Cimmerian, the source of Cimmerian, the man eaters of Zambola. Story is adapted from Robert E. Howard's Shadows in Zambola that was originally published in Weird Tales back in 1935. Wow. The first issue of The Cimmerian, The Man-Eaters of Zambola, will feature cover art by Guess. There will also be variant covers by Yannick Paquet, Moritat, Robin Recht, and Fritz Casas. I would guess the Cimmerian, the man-eaters of Zambala. Dude loves his naked ladies, doesn't he? The book goes on sale in July. It will be solicited in the May 2021 issue of Diamond Previews. You can take a look at some of the interiors below. Do you plan on checking out the Cimmerian Man Eaters of Zambola? Hey, today I walked into an adult toy store and couldn't find any action figures. Oh boy. There's more laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. Here she comes. Here's a man eater. Oh, here she comes. Watch out, boy, she'll chew you up. Oh, here she comes. She's a man eater. Probably the reason why a lot of guys go MGTOW, huh? No back coaching. Thus far, no. Maybe. Well, I know Tim Pool is live streaming. Maybe he's over there. With what was going on with the. I know he likes to go watch Tim Pool a lot. So I know Tim Pool. I was just noticing he was on before I started up. So he might be over there. Um, or his sleep schedule might just be kind of out of whack again. He watches Tim Pool. Yeah. And let me go ahead and go. I can probably go check that right now, real quick. Oh no, I guess he fin. I guess Tim Pool finished his stream like 26 minutes ago, from what I just saw there. So, yeah, he's told me that before that he does. So It could also be that maybe he's just, again, he probably his sleep schedule probably kind of went goofy. So, all right, so that's all from Founding into Comics. Now let's head over to CBR to get the rest of our news stories. We got like four more. I said we had seven tonight. How about Tim Pool appeals to normies? When you're in it for love, out the door. Oh no, here it is. And apparently, this one sold for a record-breaking amount. Apparently, I don't know if that's a maybe it's a record breaker for its particular. So here we go. Story on CBR from Brian Cronin. 1939's Batman #1 sells for a record-breaking 1.2 million. So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. The comic book back issue market continues to skyrocket as a copy of Batman #1 graded 8.0 has set a record sales price of 1.2 million. I don't get that though, because I thought Action Comics #1 was actually had the record the other day for 3.25 million. So, anyways, the okay, the comic book back issue market continues to rise as a copy of 1940's Batman #1 has sold for a record-breaking 1.2 million. The record that is being broken is for the highest price ever paid for a copy of the issue in very fine condition. Okay, as determined. Okay, so that as determined by the 8.0 grade from Certified Guarantee Company CGC, a third-party grading service used to verify comic book condition in sales like this one. Just recently, a Batman #1 graded 9.4 went for 2.2 million. So it appears as though we can say that for now that that extra 1.4 grade is worth 1 million. Okay. So that's the record broken. It's basically in its grade. The record is in the grade class. That's how it is. And I do know that the Action Comics #1 was graded high. I think like a 9.2 or 9.4 or something like that, from what I understand. If I remember the article right from the other day. Tim Pool bores me, so like okay. He wasn't too bad when Adam cast with Adam cast, but got boring after he left. Ah, sometimes though people do need to play off. Sometimes you just need a sounding board or somebody to play off of in order to really make yourself, good. So, anyways, as we continue on here, the highest end comic book back issues have steadily increased since the introduction of CGC in 2000, which created a wider possible buying audience as buyers could feel safe in making bids online for the highest priced comics, as they could feel secure in knowing that an independent party has verified the condition of the comic. But prices have gone even higher recently. DC Universal Grade, Batman #1, Spring 19, DC Comics 19, Spring 1940, spring issue. And we'll go into this a little bit more when we get, when we get there as well. But early on, feature comics like this that featured only one character. In the early days, they were like they were seasonal. They'd only come out like one, 4 times a year. You know, spring, summer, fall, winter. So, just in case you guys are wondering about that, why it's spring and not a monthly date. All brand new adventures of Batman, Robin, try the Boy Wonder. Stephen Fisher, vintage comic book expert and the founder of Comics Collect, the company that handled the auction, explained the recent increases. Vintage comics have always been great investments. Values are increasing decade by decade. But since the pandemic began, we've seen the same heightened activity we saw during the 2008 recession, when investors flocked to comics as a solid alternative to stocks. Naturally, the first appearances of key characters are the ones that have the highest demand. And Batman #1 features two key debuts in the pages of the comic, which was written and drawn by Bill Finger, Bob Kane, Jerry Robinson, and Jerry Rosas, with two of Batman's most famous foes, the Joker and Catwoman, both taking their first bows in the comic. That's right. You heard right, everybody. The Joker and Catwoman both debut, which was a rarity back then. That was a rarity back then, back in the golden age, where you actually had two recurring rogues debut in one comic. That's big. That was very big back then. So, Mike, our Monday is going to be open mic nights. No, that was no toys. That was just one of those things that just happened. That's not going. I might do more open mic nights. Randomly, sporadically here and there. That just kind of popped up as kind of as I said, I was thinking of that morning, even before I even remotely thought about what stories I might try to cover. Um, you know, I was thinking about how Woody had made the comment about we don't talk about much wrestling much, which it's true. Because I don't watch current wrestling. I don't think anybody here watches anything currently going on. But I might throw one out there every now and again. And remember, we had one on Friday night too. We kind of had one, or not Friday night, but Thursday night as well. We had two of them in a span of like 5 days. Partly due because on Thursday wasn't really any stories that interest me or I thought were worth reporting on, and so I just kind of spontaneously did that, and then just kind of came up with it on Monday there. So there's no, I may do them more sporadically here and there, but And switch things up. Laugh out loud. Toys. Don't you start. Oh, okay. Sad face looks down, kicks the dirt, sits in the corner, facing away from chat. Don't. Again, I may still do them now and again. I'm just it's gloom. Oh, now what? Now you're gonna be a Pokemon now? Um, ATC. Uh Kind of funny because I had like 6 stories all from Bounty yesterday though. So laugh out loud. So, anyways, back to the article at hand here. Let's see. Oh yeah. It is increasingly difficult for high-graded copies of Batman's first appearance in Detective Comics number 27 to hit the market. So Batman number 1 has become a more central comic for Batman fans in recent years. Action Comics number 1, featuring Superman's first appearance, and essentially the comic book that kickstarted the superhero comic books in the United States, remains the record holder for the highest price paid for a comic book period, recently selling for 3.25 million for an 8.5 graded copy. And of course we did talk about that article might have been yesterday, in fact. This exact copy of Batman number 1 sold at auction in 2006 for $80,000. And even just 2 years ago, another 8.0 copy of Batman number 1 sold for roughly $500,000. So the market is especially hot right now. Yeah, so there's the end of that story. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. Yeah, we got some lulls here. Troy's trying to be a Pokemon. Pokemon, man. Pokemon, man. Pokemon, man. All right, so we got 3 more stories tonight. But we might have a couple other promising stories there, possibly if they stay within the 24-hour period. As I said, we got like 3 more stories. 2 of them are Netflix related, and one was HBO Max. They do the HBO Max one first. Here we go. What is that? Laugh out loud. Um, Coming up on the hour mark here. What's what, Leto? Okay, so well, I did reboot the stream again. That's or yeah. But anyways, um, so here's the next article. HBO Max drops Adventure Time, Distant Lands Together Again trailer. So Finn and Jake are back in the first trailer for the new Adventure Time, Distant Lands special, Together Again, coming next month to HBO Max. Of course, Adventure Time was, of course, a series that was on Cartoon Network. Do I believe the 2010s? We're back up to four people now. Goody. HBO Max released a trailer for the third Adventure Time Distant Land special, Together Again, and set to premiere on May 20th. Together Again focuses on Adventure Time's main characters, Finn and Jake, taking place a few years after the conclusion of the original TV series. The two best bros have taken a hiatus from adventuring together, but are reunited on a cosmic journey. The trailer says will be their biggest adventure ever. Together Again was initially announced in 2019 to be the last 4 hour long Adventure Time Distant Lands specials, following BMO, the Marceline and Princess Bubblegum centric Obsidian and Wizard City, a special that will focus on Peppermint Butler attending wizard school. The decision to premiere Together Again before Wizard City comes as a surprise, though, given the Distant Lands specials have all been standalone stories set at different points in Adventure Time's timeline. The change in order shouldn't matter much. Created by Pendleton Ward, Adventure Time Distant Lands, first two specials, BMO and Obsidian, are streaming now on HBO Max. The third special, Together Again, premieres on HBO Max May 20th. So there we go. There's that one. The weird Pokemon song thing he was singing, laugh out loud. Oh, oh, you mean that Pokemon, Pokemon, Pokemon. That was actually from an episode. I can't remember and it's just funny because I just watched it week or so ago, where because I'm rewatching Pokemon as part of my Toonami block. It's from an episode where Stage Fright, I believe, might have been the episode where Pikachu and some of Ash's Pokemon were taking part in a play. About two of the kids start arguing and yell silently, behave nothing but silence through the house. I hear one whisper, "Don't get dad mad," because at you, when he yells at you, you stay yelled at. Oh boy. Oh no. Oh, no idea. Stop that, Mike. Laugh out loud. Yeah. The Pokemon song I was just singing, as I said, was from an episode of Pokemon. It was from I think the episode of Stage Fright. Anyways, as we now prepare to move on to the next story, the last two stories are going to be both Netflix related. Here's the first one of the two. Ava DuVernay's Wings of Fire animated series lands at Netflix. Netflix greenlights a 10 episode season of Ava DuVernay's Wings of Fire, an animated adaptation of Tui T. Sutherland fantasy novels. I guess that looks kind of like a dragon right there. All right, so we're just past the hour mark here. Um, Ava DuVernay's Wings of Fire animated series will take flight at Netflix. Netflix has greenlit a 10 episode season of the show, which is an adaptation of Twee T. Sutherland's fantastical novels. The project hails from DuVernay and Warner Brothers Animation and was first announced in March 2020. Within this epic book series from the mind of Tui Sutherland is an elegant saga filled with wisdom and wonder, exploring ideas of belonging and bias, camaraderie and community. Duvernay um, said, on behalf of my colleagues Sarah Brenner and Paul Garns of Array Filmworks, we're thrilled to partner with Netflix and Warner Brothers Animation for this dynamic adaptation where five young dragonettes fulfill their destiny and show viewers how to fulfill their own. Set in a world ruled by dragons, the Wings of Fire books follow a group of young dragons who seek out adventure. Kind of sounds like the land before time, just with dragons instead of dinosaurs. The series has spawned 15 novels, 3 graphic novels, and 4 short stories, selling over 9 million copies in 16 languages. We couldn't be more proud that Ava has chosen Netflix as the home for her first animated series. Netflix president of original animation, Melissa Cobb, said, an epic fantasy saga full of sweep and spectacle, Wing of Fire promises to be a must see event for the whole family. When I started writing my own Dragon series, Wings of Fire, I knew a few important things. I knew I wanted it to be a big epic fantasy with a sense of humor and kind hearted heroes. I wanted to explore questions of fate versus free will, different ways of handling power, nature, and nurture, different ways of handling power, nature, and nurture, family, and empathy, and friendship. And perhaps most of all, I wanted it to be a story told entirely from the dragon's point of view. Sutherland added, I am so immensely thrilled and grateful that Ava DuVernay is our queen of dragons. I'm pretty sure that that's the official title. Ava is someone who saves the world every day without waiting for any prophecy to tell her what to do. I hope some of my dragons grow up to be just like her. Well, there's that one. These stories are going pretty quick here. Yeah. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. What? Weird. I lost the link. It's working again for me. Oh, okay. You lost the link. Well, it may have been delayed for you. I did reset. I refreshed it earlier. For a split second, I had to refresh it. Right. So anyway, so now that story is done. So let's go ahead and check out the last story. This one's also going to be a Netflix story. I wonder if Woody and Solid are still here because I haven't seen them in a while, and the thing keeps saying that we're at 3 viewers. Sometimes going back up to 4, even 5. But I wonder if Woody and Solid are still here. Let's see. That's a lot of chutzpah. Yeah. I bet they're on the couch relaxing. Yeah, probably. That might be. Well, it'd probably be the case of Woody, but I don't know if Solid does that same thing. Um, anyway, so here's the last story of the night. Let's see. Let's see where are we at. So yeah, we're hour and 7 minutes. So um, so here's the last story, last main story of the night. Netflix plans to spend 17 billion on content in 2021. Netflix has plans to spend close to $20 billion in 2021 on content, a large increase from the 2020 budget. $17 billion on content. Wow. It really must be trying to get stuff. Netflix is nearly doubling its content budget for 2021. According to Variety, the streamer plans to spend 17 billion on content for the upcoming year. That is a large increase from its 2020 budget, 11.8 billion, which was lower than expected due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and its 2019 spending 13.9 billion. As we've noted previously, the production delays from COVID-19 and 2020 will lead to a 2021 slate that is more heavily second half weighed with a large number of returning franchises. And the company, in a letter to shareholders, and while the rollout of vaccines is very uneven across the world, we are back up and producing safely in every major market, with the exception of Brazil and India. Assuming this continues, we'll spend over $17 billion in cash on content this year and will continue to deliver an amazing range of titles for our members and more originals, with more originals this year than last. Maybe this year will be better than the last. Long December and is ready to believe. They can give me $10 and I'll make content. Oh, here's Bat Goat. Hey, I'm late. Yes, you are. Everybody was wondering where you were, Bat Goat. X. I I kind of thought maybe you were probably over on Tim Pool's stream or something because I know he was. Hey, Bat Goat. I know he was talking a lot about the aftermath of the Chauvin trial. And I know that even despite the fact he was found guilty of murder, I also know that apparently there still are protests going on right now. So But anyways, as I said, I said my piece on it earlier, so we're just talking neats now. So, hey, Toys Leto. Let's see. Nick will be talking about it. Yep, I know. Hey, back go late and didn't bring coffee. What's up, buddy? Yeah. So, anyways, Netflix noted that the upcoming returns of popular series The Witcher, Sex Education, Yes, apparently that's a series on Netflix. Sex Education, Money Heist, and You as drivers for the 2021 second half slate. Stranger Things season 4 was not mentioned on list of programs in the letter. The news comes as Netflix continues to adapt to a new age of streaming. Once a leader in a business that included just a few other services, the streamer now must compete with legacy media companies and their own streaming platforms such as Disney Plus, Disney, HBO Max, Warner Media, Peacock, NBC Universal, and Paramount Plus, Viacom, CBS. Many of these studios plan to remove content from Netflix to build up their own platforms. Just recently, it was revealed that Netflix could lose the rights to stream Illumination Entertainment films, which include the Despicable Me franchise. Late and Brony. And then hello back. Oh, Woody's back. Woody's back. I'll find people now. And I do thank you guys for liking and sharing the stream. That helps with the algorithm. Hopefully, more people in here at some point. Um, with the pandemic receding, Netflix is also no longer the main source of entertainment, as those who have been stuck inside for a year prepare for a return to normalcy. This could also impact Netflix's subscriber numbers, making it all the more vital for the streamer to provide a constant flow of content to keep churn numbers low. The increase in spending comes a few weeks after Netflix purchased the exclusive rights to Sony's theatrical releases after signing a multi year contract with the studio. This will give Netflix access to iconic series like Men in Black, Ghostbusters, Jumanji, and Sony's ever growing universe of Spider Man films, including Morbius, the sequel to Spider Man Into the Spider Verse, and sequels to Spider Man No Way Home and Venom. Let there be courage or carnage. Alrighty then. So that's all of the main stories tonight. I know you can always go back and look over the stories again if you want. Um, you know, pandemic will never go away as long as the left thugs are in charge. Yep, that might be true. I mean, anything to gain power. I mean, to quote Eddie Guerrero, the left, they lie, they cheat, they steal. They lie, they cheat, they steal. They lie, they cheat, they steal. Hey, Woody, where's Anon? It's 4:20. Yeah, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. Right, laugh out loud. Maybe he smoked out of consciousness. Oh boy. Eric Nelson is gonna need to smoke a big doobie tonight. Eric, now I take it you're talking about the Derek Chauvin's defense attorney. Yeah, I have a feeling he's going to appeal. I feel like from what I heard, the judge even stated that Maxine, even though he warned the jurors not to watch any news, there's still a chance that if they caught any kind of wind of that of what Maxine Waters said, they may, that may, basically it may be appealable. Big doobage. Hey, Batgoat, I know you're near ground zero there. Um, so what happened? If you want to tell us, I mean, you don't have to go into any like big details or anything like that, but what is it like there right now? Since the verdict came down today, are there protests? Are there riots? What's going on? Because I know I did see a headline that I guess there are some protests or whatever going across the country. And then AOC, of course, was also pouring gasoline on the fire. Apparently, saying that even though even though the guilty verdict came down, there's still no justice, according to her. So I just wanted to know, um, knowing that you're closer to the situation, what's going on there? Are there protests? Are there riots? What's going on? If you'd like to share, and if you'd not, just let me know, and I'll stop talking about it. I haven't gone outside, but most of the cities look normal. My son hasn't had to do riot duty, but he's been working for coming up on 2 weeks straight. Hmm. Life is pretty normal in the rich little lake suburbs, though. Hmm. Yeah. All right. So you see, but and here's kind of the problem I also have with the verdict and how it connects to the defund the police argument and all that. Well, let's see. Woody, the jurors saved the town. Not everything's okay there. Yeah, but here's one of the issues I have with the verdict um and in connection with the whole defund the police argument, Black Lives Matter BS, and all that. Okay, now minorities are gonna feel like they don't have to listen to cops because, granted, they already feel that way because it's like, oh, cops are racist. Cops are racist. You know, don't listen to them. Don't comply with their orders. Don't because we'll resist and we'll win in the end because because we can just say they're racist, that everything they do is motivated by racism. You know, police, the whole defund the police and all this BS we've been going through over the last year or two, it's, you know, it's going to cause problems. It's eventually going to cause problems. They don't want to riot outside of Hennepin County. They have to cross the Mississippi River on one of four huge bridges. And outside of Hennepin County, we have guns. Defund coronavirus. I say defund the Democrats. Well, okay, let me be a bit more specific. Defund liberals, progressives, socialists, and communists. Defund them. Wow, we're up to 6 people. Yay, 6 people. Lots of guns. Yes, I would. It would be. Yeah, it would be real lovely if they were to try something that stupid. That goat. You're solid, Bat. Oh wait. Lefty thugs is my new phrase. How can you defund something? Well, I guess solid is asking later. How can you defund something that doesn't exist? Hey, solid. Bat goat said, "Hey, solid." And solid looks like rolling at. They should plant explosives on the bridge and wait for them to cross. I'm not true that solid. I'm in agreement to that plan. D, that's deep solid. And back goes it. Kind of need that bridge so I can drive to the north and see my grandson level. Yeah, I can get that point too. Anyways, I know we all love laughing at the stupid of the SJWs and stuff like that, but new incident today in Columbus may move ground zero. What, Columbus, Ohio? Well, Minneapolis isn't done because you have the Dante Wright story too going on. I was working when the 35W bridge collapsed. Yeah, so now we're at an hour and 24. So we're because as we all know, there is no news except what matches the narratives. Yep. Shadow solid toys myself at 6. So yeah, so it's being pretty accurate right now. Well, from the looks of it, from the looks of the counters being correct, I count 6. And I do appreciate any and all likes, guys. If you haven't already, I'm pretty sure all. I think all of you probably have. If you haven't, like and share the stream. Okay. 16-year-old girl with knife shot by police. Is that what happened in Columbus, Woody? 16-year-old girl with she. I take it she went at the police with the knife. And what race was this? Was this a black girl? Was this a white girl? Well, it must have been a black girl if they're making a big deal out of it because there was also I think that shooting that happened a couple weeks ago in Baltimore where a white kid got shot by police, and no, and not a whole lot of people have been talking about that one. So many people have drunk the Kool Aid; they accept lies blindly. Yeah, without taking any real time to think about what's really going on. Anyway, sorry to change the subject. I just wanted to make a joke about Eric Nelson. Yeah, nope. Guessing she was a Shaw Nene. Why does it matter? If you're asking why does it matter if she's black or white, it really doesn't. It really doesn't. It shouldn't. But the reason we're bringing that up is because this is the way things apparently are working right now. If they are a minority, a lot of times black, it's the worst thing that could happen. It's the apocalypse. It's Armageddon. But if it's a white person who's involved, then it's kind of swept under the rug. That's really why it matters. But your I guess your tone underneath there is it shouldn't matter, and I agree with you. The investigators haven't finished looking at the batch cans. Uh, Batch cans, badge cams. Okay. It matters because that's what makes the difference in whether it gets on the news. Which is basically which Woody you just reiterated what I just said. In other words, if the girl with the knife, if she's black, then it fits their narrative. If she's black or well, it's not just even black. It's any kind of ethnic minority, whether she's black, Asian, Hispanic. You know, they'll it'll fit their narrative. You know, if she's white, it won't fit their narrative. So you know, I thought Asians were considered white now. Um, Did you forget the massage parlor shooting in Atlanta? Stop AAPI hate. You forget about that? They're solid. Hey, just got home, going to grab a bite and listen in. How's it going? Well, you missed all the main stories. And then we're kind of talking about some of the day events and some other developments apparently happening in the world of stupid, even in everyone. That's true, solid, but they bend the rules depending on narrative. Asians are whiter than white, just as Harvard admissions. Ain't on happy 420 dating. I get it now. I get it now. 420, which okay. Today is 420, which is the date. 420 I also know is I guess a code for for something to do with marijuana. So hey, Anon, I didn't know about it in the first place. Okay, well, happy holidays. Yep. Be rip time. Be right back. And thank you again for the likes and shares, guys. I'm down. I just saw the notification. Nick's coming on in a half hour. So, well, you said we're going to get Mike kicked off the air when all this with all this controversial chat. Pokemon cards. Asians have to score higher than other races, while some races have to put in half the effort and get accepted nowadays. Ha ha ha. I'm not 10. All right. Those Pokemon cards knelt on those Yu-Gi-Oh cards. All right. So aside from today's garbage, is there anything? Well, obviously some people are bringing up Pokemon cards. So I myself am watching as part of my afternoon block. I started watching Pokemon again. I'm watching or rewatching, of course, Orange Islands right now. Orange Island Saga. Uh huh. Uh huh. Back down to 5 and back down to 4. Alrighty then. So we're at hour and 33. So we're just past the hour and a half mark. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7 people participating. Wow. So it should say 7 then, shouldn't it? Yeah, I'm gonna refresh my YouTube here because tell me 5, but I think there should be 7 people because uh, I just counted the participation in the chat and like so it's still saying just 5. Okay. Anyway, let's see. I think Graveyard Shift is closing out tonight. John Mallon's book, if you're interested. Hmm, all right. How about that? That reminds me, Leto. I have Yu-Gi-Oh cards for sale. I don't play it. La. Winnie the Pooh Bear, I gotta be there. Me and you, always Winnie the Pooh Bear, I gotta be there. Me and you, always Winnie the Pooh. ETC says loud, and that's slavery. You can't own, and that's slavery. You can't own a Yu-Gi-Oh card. Oh, brother. Oh, let's see. All right, guys. Well, we're we're at an hour 36:40. I think it might be a good time to start winding down a bit. Are you guys ready for this day in niche history? Oh, there's back out. I saw that on Clownfish today. History. You can't own property, man. Free Waterfall Jr. Nietzsche, great Nietzsche King. Yay! Nietzsche it up. All right, so without no further ado today, day being Tuesday, April the 20th, 420, and for our favorite little potheads in the chat there. uh, Hope you guys had a good 420 there. So, without any further ado, let's go ahead and take a look back on this day in niche history, this April 20th, 2021. Let's take a look back in time to um, see what happened on this day in niche history. So, our first stop, yay, 420 edition. And our first stop is we're going to go back 70 years ago today. On this date, back in 1951, the 165th issue of Adventure Comics went on sale on this date back in 1951, featuring the stories of Superboy's School for Stuntmen, which was the lone Earth One story of at the time. Even though Superman's career as Superboy happened on Earth One, his story started during the Golden Age, back in the 40s. So, and then the other three characters are Earth Two, of course, Shining Knight, Gadget, Gadget Boom, and Camelot. Johnny Quick, the Warrior of the Lightning Flash, and then the Golden Age version, or Earth Two version of Green Arrow, Archers Without Arrows. So those are the four stories that were featured in the 165th issue of Adventure Comics that went on sale on this date 70 years ago today, back in 1951. Yep. So there we go there. Now moving on to the next piece of niche history. as on this day in 1981, which was 40 years ago today, Toei Animation's Tiger Mask 2, the anime Tiger Mask 2, premiered on TV Asahi on this date back in 1981. Tiger Mask was originally an anime that started back in 1968, 69, around there. Um, it actually ended up spanning a Japanese pro wrestler by the name of Satoru Sayama, who took on the mask in real life. Tiger Mask 2, which was the follow up to Tiger Mask 1, or the original Tiger Mask. In Tiger Mask 2, a new opponent called Our Space Mask bullies, or Outer Space, a new opponent called Outer Space Mask bullies his way into the ring without representing any wrestling federation. Tetsuo Aku, once an orphan child from quote unquote the House of the Children, was a fan of Naoto, who has passed away. He would put on his old hero's mask to become the new Tiger Mask. So that's the thing from Tiger Mask 2. So on this date 40 years ago today, Tiger Mask 2, the anime Tiger Mask 2, and we may get into this as well because I think 3 days after this premiered, Satoru Sayama debuted as Tiger Mask in Japanese pro wrestling for all Japan as well. So we might get into that a little bit later as well. But on this date in 1981, 40 years ago today, the anime Tiger Mask 2 premiered on TV Asahi from Toei Animation. So there we go with that one. And now we head to 5 years ago, to 2016 on this date. Go with the animation story first and the pro. So on this date in 2016, 5 years ago today. So let's see. I'm blazed. Okay. Laugh out loud. Nice. So on this date in 5 years ago today, the French American animated series Get Blake made its U.S. debut on Nicktoons on this date in 2016. So 5 years ago today, the French American animated series Get Blake made its United States premiere on Nicktoons. Me too. So that and in this particular case, 2016 is just so nice that we have to hit it twice. But however, dude, however, we're gonna end on a bit of a sad note, as it was on this date 5 years ago today. Joni Lauer, better known to wrestling fans as China, passed away on this date from a drug overdose. I believe it was a drug overdose. Probably double check that just to make sure. So on April 20th, 2016, Lauer was found dead in her home in Redondo Beach, California. She had been taking medication for anxiety and sleep deprivation. An official statement was posted to her Twitter account saying, "It is with deep sadness to inform you today that we lost a true icon, a real life superhero. She will live forever in the memories of her millions of fans." Yeah, I think it might have been a drug overdose, I believe. From taking those medications. But anyway, so on this date, 5 years ago today, Joni Lauer, better known to wrestling fans as China, passed away at the age of 45. So there you go. Let's see. And is Nickelodeon still around? Yes, it is. It is, Anon. I guess they are. It is. R.I.P. China. She fell off hard. She was DX, man. She fought that Joey Buttafuoco dude too. Yeah, I remember her appearance on, I think it was Celebrity Rehab, where she and Brigitte Nielsen got pretty close as well. You know, kind of a mix of different types of relationships between those two. Watched her in that reality show, Surreal Life, and thought she was such a pure person. Yeah, she was in Surreal Life. She was also in Celebrity Rehab, I believe, or you know, because I remember her, and there was a time. It may have happened in Surreal Life, or it may have happened in Celebrity Rehab with Dr. Drew, but she and Brigitte Nielsen got pretty close. Pretty sure it's spelled more Italian, but that seems proper. I've allowed that guy. Fortunate that happened to her. She was fun in Surreal Life. She was so hot back in the day. She was one of the first few women wrestlers I liked to watch um, when I was a kid into wrestling. But okay, but Fu Oko. Uh, ha ha ha. All right, guys. Well, we're at an hour and 47. So I'm glad you guys were all able to make it tonight. We got up to like, I know we had actually 7 people in here, even though the counter stuck at a high of 5. So that's, but I know we at one point had 7 people in here. I am pretty confident in that. So thank you guys for joining me tonight. Um, and I hope to see you all back here tomorrow night. Let's see. Uh-huh. Yep, I'm still weird. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for being here. And don't forget, of course, Friday, Batgoat Night will be doing the historical comics retrospect. You're looking at DC Comics, the comics that went on sale in August of 1937. So I've got like about 5 stories planned to read that night. So I'm and I may I and even though I'm not going to read Slam Bradley that night. I will at least summarize it for you guys because it was a pretty fun story. But I don't want to get into too much of a habit of oversaturating one character too much. So that's the only reason why we're gonna. But we will read Speed Saunders, Bart Regan, Federal Men, Dr. Colt, and Radio Squad. So, anyways, guys, thank you again for being here. Let's see. See y'all at next stream. Have a good one, everyone. All right, guys, I will see you tomorrow. Bye.